Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin. We're back at the movies for another review. And as I said earlier this week, today I will be giving a deep dive into Avatar The Way of Water, directed by James Cameron and starring Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Stephen Lang, Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, and Sigourney Weaver. Now, I very rarely will do a review on a movie I've only seen once. But, I feel like with Avatar being really more of just a true follow up to the first Avatar, that it's kind of easier to give a review, go deeper into my thought process. So earlier this week, I put up a short where I gave my first reaction after seeing it. I gave it a 7.8. And, visually, it's absolutely stunning. But I wouldn't expect anything different from James Cameron. He spent so much time working on his movies and really trying to. He'll sit and wait years waiting for technology to catch up to his ideas. So visually, the movie is gorgeous. I mean, there's times in the movie, especially in like a lot of the underwater scenes, because that's what this movie does. It takes the story of Avatar from the forest people, which are the Na'vi in the first ones, and moves them to the sea. Moves it to the sea. And visually, it's just gorgeous. It looks like you're watching an animated movie. So it gets I mean, if we're going visually, we're going a 10 out of 10. But as I said in my short, the first half of the movie sucks. It really does. The character development is terrible. The characters are unlikable. You have Jake Sully, the hero of the first Avatar, is now a father. He's got 4 children. We've gone several years into the future. And he treats his. I mean, the humans are still coming back to Pandora to mine, different elements to bring back to Earth. That's fine. But it just feels like it was just like, oh, hey, they left, and then, hey, they came back. And now he raids their outlying areas, and his kids are all like little soldiers to him. They're not his kids. There's times where you see him try to be a dad, but he goes back to being a soldier. And I just don't like that. I don't like the stiffness of the character. Like, you're years in, you've now been a Na'vi, you're the leader of this tribe, you have 4 kids, and you treat them like soldiers. I just didn't like that. I didn't like the I didn't like that humans came back and all of a sudden they've got this massive, massive city and nobody talks about it. And the Na'vi are just completely oblivious to it. Yet they destroyed this giant chunk of Pandora to build this city. And they're just living their life. It's like nothing else has happened except for that area. And it doesn't make sense there. I didn't like that. So Stephen Lang, Miles Quaritch in the first one, the bad guy, is back as a Na'vi. They grew these Na'vis on Earth and implanted his memories up until the time he dies into the Na'vi. That shouldn't be a surprise. If that's a spoiler alert, you haven't been watching the trailers, because the trailers pretty clearly show who it is and what's going on. I didn't like that either. I just thought that was kind of silly. You could have gone with another bad guy. Stephen Lang is great. I don't really have a problem with his character per se, but just make a new bad guy. Instead of this silly, convoluted, we built a new avatar, put his memories into it, and then the addition of a human who was left as a child spider. felt unnecessary. Although towards the end of the movie, you do start enjoying his character. So the first half of the movie sucks, as far as I'm concerned. It's trash. But the second half of the movie is incredible. Again, the visuals, the further development of the story, the maturity of especially Worthington's Jake Sully character becoming a father and a leader at the same time, and the showdown between all parties involved. It's a phenomenal second half. You know, you really see a more fleshed out story, and you know, again, there are plot holes here and there. You know, kids go missing for chunks of time and nobody talks about it. Nobody really seems to care. But other than that, it's a really solid second half. You know, so again, you know, it's an up and down movie. Visually, it's gorgeous, and I think that's why most people go and watch it, is because of its visuals. You're not going to see a fleshed out story. Really, the last story that Cameron really told, as far as I'm concerned, is probably True Lies. You know, Titanic is, again, silly, beautiful, but silly. True Lies is the last real true story that he's directed, as far as I'm concerned. But he is an icon. You know, visually, it's gorgeous. So I gave it, on my first reaction, a 7/8. And having, you know, thought about it and given it some time, I'm not going to go that high. I think they're, as good as the second half is, there are still plot holes in the movie, in the second half of the movie, that are silly and kind of take away from the overall story. As beautiful as it is and as emotional as it gets, because of the terrible first half, the really good second half, I'm going to give it a 7.4. I think that's a fair, honest score. It's a good movie. If you're going there just to watch a visually beautiful movie, then you're not going to be disappointed. If you're looking for a truly fleshed out storyline, maybe we'll get that in Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many they do. They make enough money to justify it. But I'm going to go 7.4. I think that's a fair score. I would still recommend the movie, just for visuals alone. Avatar, The Way of Water, directed by James Cameron, 7.4. That's my review. If you like this video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time at the movies. Take care.